Hi guys, Beans here, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are back on Assetto Corsa Competizione and the Lowfuel Motorsport platform for Season 10, Week 1 here at Catalunya. Not the greatest of qualification runs from ourselves, but as usual I wasn't too fussed as I knew during the race we always seem to have a better pace. Little bit of an insight to how this week's gone so far. This is my 5th race and so far it's not been so good. We found ourselves highly unfortunate this week and the last 4 races have ended in a similar scenario to the ending of this race. With that being said, our season can't get any worse than what it has already. But in the meantime it is hurting our ELO and it is hurting our safety rating, meaning it's going to be a little bit more difficult to progress through these licence ranks if we don't have a string of good fortune soon enough. But as we make our way through the pack with people crashing, missing braking points and just generally doing dumb mistakes, heading into turn 5 we've managed to pick up a few positions. But our main focus is of course stay on the track and just be as smooth as possible throughout the race. And this week I just couldn't dial in my setup. The car had vast amounts of understeer and I just couldn't eliminate that to where I would feel more comfortable with the car. As we head down the straight into turn 10, I thought about making a rash move down the inside as we did get a little bit of a better run. But ultimately, we fought better and we have to be patient in these races. They are 25 minutes long, so a lot can happen within 25 minutes. I'm definitely going to be doing some of the longer races on the LFM platform. So they do the 45-minute races which require a pit stop. But for that, we're probably going to need to work on a strategy, as when it comes to pit stops in ACC, I am completely clueless. I have no idea what I'm doing. So it would have to be something that I research into before I attempt to do the longer races. I'm pretty sure it's just a case of setting up before the race and just sort of like pitting and then having it do it in the race. But obviously I want to be completely sure before I do it, otherwise we could be fighting for a podium. Highly unlikely, but you never know. And then yeah, just because of my pit stop strategy, it's kind of ruined that. As we skip forwards onto lap 4, we're in P13, which considering we started in P24, it's not too bad. We get a decent run out of turn 3, but it wasn't quite good enough to overtake the Lambo, and the Lambo manages to stay ahead. But as he sets himself up for turn 5, he leaves the inside open, so we make a move down the inside. Managing to make that stick, for now, it's time to try and catch up to the pack. I can see top 10 and there's still over 18 minutes of the race to go. But we had our work cut out for us this week, if I'm honest. Definitely some quick drivers in here and my pace personally certainly wasn't up to par. I think I might have spent a bit too much time on iRacing. With that being said, I definitely could have put a bit more practice in, but I was fairly confident with the track. Although I hadn't done many laps on a sim, I was fairly familiar with the layout. I've been lucky enough to do a few motorbike track days and this was one of them. Although it's a completely different comparison, the track layout still hasn't changed. Heading around turn 12, we've managed to keep the BMW close and slightly closed the gap to P10. However, there is a back marker up ahead which could be interesting, as I've already had a few issues with back markers this season. And as we make our way through the chicane, we accidentally extend the track limit, which gives us our first warning, which is not ideal. We're trying to have as many clean races as we can and try and eliminate as many warnings as possible. Heading over the line, we're 6 tenths down this lap compared to the car ahead. As we skip forwards to the end of lap 6, we've managed to catch P10 and keep the BMW up ahead within a second of us. But with these two now fighting for position, it's going to give us the opportunity to be able to catch up. As the BMW makes a move down the inside, it compromises the McLaren's run into turn 1, forcing him to go a little deep, which also will allow us to get a decent run out of turn 3 and try to make a move on the outside, which isn't easy to do, but with our better exit we can capitalise and we manage to just get our nose ahead heading into turn 4. Now the McLaren has the inside line here, but luckily we're able to keep our speed as it's quite a wide turn, giving us the inside line heading into turn 5. Now with that move being stuck, we can just put our heads down again and try and catch up with P9 as well as try and catch the BMW up ahead. So far so good in this race. We've gained 13 positions and with 13 minutes left to go there's certainly room for more. As the race went on we were feeling more and more confident, but we're still struggling with the car if I'm honest. I have thought about trying something different as well. changing things up a little with a change of car. But I've yet to test anything else, so I will definitely certainly look at changing the car in the future, even if it's just for a race. But it'll be good for me, I think, to try all the cars. Fast forwarding onto lap 9, here we've lost a bit of time to the car ahead, but we've stretched our lead to the car behind. Looking out for this yellow, there's a car on the grass to the right, putting us up into P10, and to be fair, who doesn't love a freebie? As we make our way onto the straight, we can see we're catching a small group up ahead. But given the nature of the circuit, it seems to have a formula for dull racing sometimes. And apart from a few overtakes we've made ourselves, the rest of our positions gained are from people making mistakes, coming off track, or having collisions with other drivers. Now, I'm going to put a big emphasis on the word mistake, because as we round turn 12 and make our way into turn 13 and then into the chicane, to be fair, my least favourite part of the track, I've hit the sausage on the right, unsettling the car, causing me the spin. So all those positions we've gained, I've now just unfortunately lost. And after getting the car straight, waiting for the people to pass, I'm down into P19. And I've got 3 cars in close proximity. I also feel for this Ferrari, to be fair, as he had to slow down due to the car on his right, but then I couldn't move over to my right and let him through because I was being overtaken as well. And if you look in the bottom left, you can see that that mistake has literally just cost me 30 seconds plus, probably even more than that, because I can't carry the speed, or I don't have the speed down the straight. You know, after that mistake we've made, I was feeling a bit deflated, but we've known from previous videos not to just give up, just to carry on and try and at least salvage something from this. You know, there's still 8 minutes of the race. That's roughly 4 or 5 laps. Anything can happen within that time period. And after outbraking one Ferrari, another goes deep into the hairpin, giving us 2 positions with 3 seconds between me and the next car, which I knew we'd catch quite confidently. Making our way cautiously through the chicane this time, avoiding that awful sausage on the inside, heading onto the main straight. After 1 lap down into the recovery drive, we've made up 2 positions, but more importantly, we were catching up to the small group ahead. So just skipping ahead now onto lap 11, we're catching. The Nissan has overtaken this Ferrari, which I believe had damage, which, to be fair, you will see in a second. As we make our way onto the straight, the Ferrari misses the apex, and he definitely has to lift here because we are catching quicker than what we normally would. And at this point in the race, the goal for me would have been top 15 at least. We could see P14 was up there and we were catching, and all we'd need to do was just keep our pace that we had, stay consistent, and then we should have, you know, by the end of the race we should have at least caught up. Avoiding the back marker on the grass, going around turn 13, the Ferrari was definitely struggling. But we'd have to be patient until we at least got onto the straight so we could think about making a move. Getting a decent run onto the main straight, it was time to capitalise on the slow Ferrari up ahead. As he runs wide, you know, to be fair, fair play, he had a bit more straight speed than expected, but we got the better exit. I make a move down the inside, and yeah, he comes across and just pit manoeuvres me. I look back on the replay, I typed a Y in the chat because, like, why can't you keep the car in a straight line? For me, I was completely dumbfounded with that, and here's the view of what happened third person, and yeah, that is pretty much the end of my race. With that being said, that's going to conclude today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!